So today, we as a group are going to explain to you guys about our project that has been assigned to us. The project aim is to help the nation in facing the COVID-19 pandemic. So stay tuned with us in order to know more about our project. So this is the index page of our system. The title of the system is CheckCovid. This one over here is the CSS of our program. So this is the body of our program. This is for the tabs above for the program, and we use drop down function. So in this index we implement the button function and no script for this. Next is the config.php. This is for our system to connect to the database. The username of our database is root with no password, and this is the name of our database. This is to connect to MySQL database over here, and this one is to output if the connection is failed. So this is the database that we have created. We have 4 tables in our database: admins, record, survey form, and users, all created in PHP MyAdmin. Next is the user registration. So this is for the user registration. This is earlier to connect to the database. This one is for the validation of the registration, to ensure that the user enter something into the field and ensure that the data entered is the right one. And this one is to validate the password. This one over here is to check errors before inserting it into the database. This one is to insert it into the database. Then after the user has successfully registered, it will be directed to login page. Then the user will have to log in into the system. If not, the system will output something went wrong with the registration. That's all for the PHP. Next is the form of our registration. The CSS and the tabs of our page or registration page is the same as others. This is the form of our page, our registration form. And this is the submit and reset button. And if the user is already a user of our system, then they can click here to go to the login page, directly go to the login page. That's all. As for admin's registration, it's basically the same as users registration. It requires config.php. However, this one over here is different from users registration, which users registration will be insert into users, but admins registration will be inserted into admins. So the other thing is basically the same. This one is to validate the password, this one is to validate the username, and the form is basically the same. It's just that the data will be inserted into another table. That's all. So next is the welcome page. This one is for users and this one is for admins. So it's basically the same, just that the page after welcome page is slightly different because admin have different function compared to users. So this is the PHP for the session to start after we log in. This PHP will make the session for the user until he or she log out from the system. So the CSS and the tabs are basically the same as the others. It's just that after after the user has logged in, the tabs will be slightly different because we don't need login tabs anymore, register tabs anymore. So after the user login, they do not need the tabs, those kind of tabs anymore. So I replace the tabs with symptom checks and account for the users to log out from the system or reset their password. So this is only the welcome page to welcome the user, and then the user can click the button continue. Then the user will continue to the page survey.php. Basically the same as admin's welcome page. So it has session here for the users for the admin sessions to start. Then so the tabs over here also are replaced with view data and account for them to manage their data. And when user click this button over here, it will be directed to display.php. Display.php is same as here. So if they click both of the button, they will be directed to the editing page, view data page. Then only they can manage the data whether they want to delete or edit the page. So this one here is for the session to start after the user have logged into the system. And it require config.php, the one that we use to connect the database that we have made. This one over here is to define variable and initialize with empty value. This is to validate the info that has been inserted. So if the user entered the wrong password, it will output the password you entered was not valid. And if the user account was not found in the database, it will output no account found with that username. So as for the login, it will have two data, which is admin and users. So if the login page is login.php, which means that the page is for users. So if an admin tries to log in through users page registration, so it will not successful because login for users use table users. and login for admin uses table admins. So admins cannot log in from users page, and users cannot log in from admins page. So the login for admin and users is basically the same. It's the only difference that they use a different table. Admins will use admins table, users will use users table. So the form is basically the same. This is the form. And this is the submit and reset button. So if the user didn't have any account, so they can click this link over here for them to go to the registration page. Next is the reset password page. So it's the same. We need the session start PHP. Then we require configure PHP to connect to the database. This one is to define variable and initialize with empty value. And this is to validate the new password, whether the password is in the correct ways, entered in correct ways or not. This is to validate the confirm password. And this is to check the input before inserting into the database. And this is to insert the data into the database. So if the user successfully change their password, it will be entered into login.php. It will be redirected into login.php. Otherwise, it will output oops, something went wrong. So the SQL over here, we use the different one. We use update user instead of we use this to input into the database. So it's slightly different. This one over here we use update compared to select in the registration, because the data is already in the table. It's just that we want to update the new data of the table inside the table. So the form is here. The user only need to enter a new password, since the since the username is already known, since they already logged into the system. And this is the button, submit and reset button. So it's basically the same as admins reset password. It's just that we use different table. Admins table, update admins table. The last one is the logout function. So this logout function doesn't need different page for admin or users, since it doesn't use any table. Those we make different tables is because that we use different tables for admins and users. So this is to initialize the session, and this is to unset all of the session variables, and this is to destroy the session that has been made. And then after the users has successfully logged out, it will be redirected to index page. That's all. And then they can log in back or register back. So that's all for logout page. So next I am going to show you guys the output of our program, output of our system. So first of all, this is the index of our system, and it have two buttons over here for the admin and user to redirect to their login page. So if user click here, it will be redirected to admin login page, or if they click user, they will be redirected to the user login page. These tabs above here is to redirect the user to the pages. This page, when the user click, they will be redirected to index page back. So this one, when the cursor is hovered to the login button, it will drop down two choices, admins or user. So if the user chooses admin, it will be redirected to login page of admin, and if the user chooses user, they will be redirected to user login page. Same for register. If they click admin, they will be redirected to admin registration page, and if they click user, they will be redirected to user registration page. And if they click statistic over here, they will be redirected to statistic page over here. So that's all for index page. Next is the registration page. First, I will demonstrate the registration page for admin. So,
username admin Maros, then password I'll insert 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then enter the password again.
Then after the user have registered their credential, they can directly enter their
credential. They will be directed to the login page, and they can enter their info to the login page.
So that's it. The user, admin Madas, has been successfully registered and successfully logged in. This one shows the admin Mados has been successfully registered. And next, I'll demonstrate the user registration page, and also I'll directly log in after registration. So if the user enter password lesser than 6 character, it will output this. Password must have at least 6 character. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I enter 7 and the password and confirm password is not the same, so it will output password did not match. Same goes as admin's registration just now. So I just need to change the confirm password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the user will be redirected to user login page. Next, I am going to demonstrate the reset password for both admins and user. First, I'll demonstrate the admins first. I'll log into an admin account over here. Then I'll go to account. As I mentioned earlier in the coding section, the tabs above here will be different after the login has been successful, and it is also different after login for both users and admin, since they both have different function and things they need to do. So I'll go to reset password for admin first, and I'll input the new password for admin. I'll press MOHAMAD 99. Confirm. If I put the new password differently from the first I entered, it will output password did not match as earlier. So I only need to input the same password that I entered above that password. So now my password has been successfully changed to MOHAMAD 9999. Submit, and then there you go. So next, I'm going to demonstrate the reset password for user. I'll first log in into a user account, then I'll go to reset password, then I'll enter new password 12345678, then confirm the new password 12345678, then I'll be redirected to user login. Then I just need to enter the new password 12345678, submit, and then there go.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, my name is MOHAMAD HAMKA bin ZULKIFLE. So I will explain about view, update, and delete data. View data from MySQL to my website. First of all, the important thing that we need to do is we need to connect from server to MySQL. My scheme is name project CC574. So our group use that scheme. So I already connect to my SQL, and then it's successfully. Okay, so we go to one by one. Actually, I do for admin. Alright, my previous member also explained about login for admin, so I will explain rest. Address. So this is my view, actually display coding, display data from MySQL to our website. We used HTML, but this is not important actually. This is like Bootstrap, and we used to make my website interesting. The important is in the middle of the coding we have to use PHP. Alright, this is my SQL command. I use a table name survey, but survey because I already create that table. And then this is what we call is we pass the data that already user submit. Just we call like that. Submit it to MySQL, and then I just call like that, and I call to view, to display, and this is how. Okay, this is how to coding. We need a HPA, chorus, email, system, contact, that's it. And then we have also a button to update and delete. Okay, so we can go through. Alright, this is look what I have coding. This is display.php. Okay. Also, so we try to create update. Okay, this is it's the same like a user want to update. Okay, want to already no, this is same a template and survey. The user have to submit. So I call that I want to update the data of FARIS. So I just type just edit like no and no. Okay, and then no. So we update and like that. This is successfully update. So we go through coding for the update. Just it is PHP also update. It is my exactly process to update. So like a middle coding like that for update. So the process is at here. We select all where name like before I this before this is FARIS. Call, so this is called role by role from the data, and after if I click button on it, it can go at this we use the post connection. To get ID, where I can get ID, because I have assumed at this button. Okay, so we need the post condition that we call back one by one, each rule by rule, and this at the same time we need to SQL command and that update server set name, where name is FARIS, so we call FARIS again, and then we display a location, display PHP like that. Okay, so if I got wrong command, we will please check your query. Okay, we go through the delete. The coding of the delete is very simple and short. Let's like that. First of all, the important thing we need before coding, we need to include the connection.php. Every site, or every PHP, every on-screen, we need to get PHP. So I get this and SQL command delete from survey where name is FARIS, like that example I will show you, and then we'll display again like this. Okay, so let's quickly try it. We try to delete. Listen, this is already delete from the data from the MySQL. So you want an example, you want a proof like that. Yeah, we also have a 3. With the previous have a 4 W data. Right now is 3. Okay, that's all my session, and then that's all.
Assalamualaikum. Today I, Muhammad Afiq bin MAMSOR from class 4B will be explaining about our group project, about my page, that is web page development, and my page is survey.php. This is my survey.php coding, and this page will be for our survey page. That is, we will ask the user after login that they will be filled in the form that is coded in this PHP. Then I show the insert PHP, because this coding is to connect the data that the user fill out, and it will go straight to the database in the PHP my admin. For my page, this is for my page, and we will log in for the user, and we will go for the survey. Then we try answer the survey. We put email, just put an email, afiq@gmail.com. Have I have any symptom? No, I don't have. Put 4. Have been contact if anyone the last 14 days will experience this symptom? No. Have you been in contact with anyone who has since tested positive for COVID-19? Not sure. Have you traveled in the last 1 or 2 months? No. Then submit. Then this is the output that we will get. And so that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. So next, I will be explaining about the result of the survey and how we produce the output of the result for the survey, which is checking either you are good or not for the COVID-19 pandemic. So first of all, I will show you the survey page. The survey page will ask you for your name and email, and then we ask you 4 questions, and then you click submit, and after that you will be retrieved to another page which will show you the result, and I will show you the page of the result in a moment. Okay, so now I'm going to explain to you the coding that I use to display the either you are good to go or not. So first of all, by using this formation, I have created 4 switch cases to put into the HTML, and also I have already created 3 type of bots, different bots. So the one that I use first is I take back, okay, from the page, the survey page, I take back the name that is already input by the user, and I use post here, post, and then I take the name, which is the name of the input for the name, and I will, this will produce the result of hello and the username. Okay, next, the first switch is for the symptom. There are 4 symptoms that I already explained previously: cough, shortness of breath, fever, and no symptom. So it is all labeled by 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you only have 1 or 2 or 3, it will output you are good to go, but please stay safe and stay home. And then if you have 2 and 3, or 3 and 2, 3 and 1, or 1 and 3, or 2 and 1 and 1 or 2, it will display to you, you should seek medical assistance. And this one we use the box 2, which is the yellow box, because it's intermediate. Okay, you should seek medical assistance, contact your nearest hospital immediately. That is for the second case, which is 2 of the symptoms you have. And then if you have 3 of the 4 symptoms, which is cough, fever, and shortness of breath, and then it will be like, if you're using box 1, which is red in color, it means that you are highly risk to be infected by COVID-19, because these 3 symptoms is the most common symptom for COVID-19. So you need to call the nearest hospital immediately to have a check. Okay, and then if you have no symptom, I already said for default, which is number 4, or any other number that you input other than 1, 2, and 3. It will say you have a low risk and stay safe, stay home, which using box, which is a green box. Next switch is for the contact switch, which will ask you if you contact anybody experience the symptom. And these have 2 cases only, either yes with capital Y or yes with lowercase y. And if your answer is yes, it will use a red box, and it will display your high risk to be infected by COVID-19. So you need to quarantine yourself and call the nearest hospital to take the test. Okay, and then for the default, which is no, or if you leave it blank, it will display the hashtag kita, which is the official hashtag for our government. Next, if you have travel, okay, if you have traveled to the abroad in the past 3 months, which is before PKP, it will ask you to contact KKM, and it will give you your KM number full. Alright, but if you are not, it will only display the hashtag COVID-19. Okay, and then for the last one is either you have contact with a tested positive person. So if your answer is yes, you need to quarantine yourself and be tested immediately. You need to get really. And if you say no, you will say global pandemic. Okay. Hello. So next, I'm gonna explain about our statistic page. This page is solely using HTML and no other source like PHP and JSP and database. It's not linked to any database. It's only a page to show the statistic of the current COVID-19 state in Malaysia. Yes. So this page needed to be updated manually. Okay. So this is the page or that will be updated manually by the admin using the HTML, either Dreamweaver or whatsoever that the admin want. This is the page. You can see this is the total case in Malaysia, which is today, as of today, is 8,596. Okay, and 121 deaths, 8,231 recoveries, which made it 95.8% of all cases, and also 244 active cases, which is 2 in the ICU and 0 using life support. That's it. In the below, it will also show you the state breakdown. Okay, so Kuala Lumpur, Selangor, Negeri Sembilan, Johor, Sarawak, Pahang, Sabah, Perak, Malaysia, Melaka, Kelantan, Pulau Pinang, Terengganu, Putrajaya, Kedah, Perlis, and Labuan. This is the statistic as it is for today. And if you click on this page right here, so if you click at the Sarawak here, for example, it will display you the more detail of the state that you click on, which is the breakdown of the state if you click on the button at the flag. Okay, so this is updated daily, and as you can see, this is as of Wednesday 24th of June 2020. So here you can see made by me, and then the data source, which is the KKM. I take all the data from here, and then you can see. And so I already include the back to top button here. You can scroll and use the back to top anytime. Then I also put the home page here. If you click this, it will go to the home page. And then I also include the night mode using this. This is the day mode. Okay, and then this is the night mode. You can see I included the switch. So now we explain the coding. First of all, I already create a CSS for the body. Okay, and then CSS for button, which is the back to top button. Okay, and then this is all my reference. Okay, next I will explain the button function. Here the back to top function. Add it. Okay, so this is my button, get element by ID, and my button is CSS both. And then on scroll, it will pop up at bottom right, and then it will when you push the button, it will go top of the page. Next, I will show you that I already created 4 main box at the above: total case, total death, total recoveries, and empty cases. And then we also have here the table that you could see here. This table is showing the state is here, state breakdown. So we create table using the table HTML syntax. And then for this and for that as of Wednesday, as of the day of the information. And then for the 2 button at the bottom, which is this button made by FARIS and data source, I only put the button and then I link it to the KKM and also my Facebook. And then this right here is the function for this button. Okay, for the night mode and day mode button. So you can see if you click on that, it will be light theme, and then also we're using the dark theme, which use black background and also white background for the day theme.